Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Josh. I'm here with Bob Hutchins. He's our VP of Digital Marketing. And today we're going to talk about the three most common mistakes you make when launching digital ads. And so, Bob, let's just jump right in.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of mistakes I think that people can make, but the three most common ones that I've tried to prioritize is number one, not using clear objectives. In other words, what's the goal that you're even doing this advertising for? Because many times clients will come to us and say, hey, we've tried some ads in the past and they haven't worked real well. And then what you find is the sales department had one expectation of why you're running the ad, maybe the maintenance department, maybe the operations department. And so really before you do any type of advertising, really determine what the clear objective. Is it for brand awareness? Is it to drive traffic to your website? Is it to generate a lead? Is it an e-commerce conversion? And that's the first mistake that people make is let's just create a pretty ad that kind of has our brand message on it and let's see if we can get some interest. That's not good enough.
Yeah, and that's always changing, like how far you can go in the tracking, how many things you can track, what you can track. That's always changing. So it's super important to keep those objectives up to date.
Absolutely. Be clear about that. The second thing I would say comes right behind it is a mismatch in audience targeting. I think many times it's easy in this day and age to default to, well, let's just advertise on Facebook and Google or something that's familiar, that's easy, that you can get a lot of traffic and that you can target demographically. But that doesn't always cover your target demographic. And then you wonder sometimes come back and go, well, it didn't really convert like we thought it would. So for instance, if you have an older demographic, maybe you should look into Bing because it comes standard on a lot of more inexpensive Windows laptops that people just open and start putting in their search. So it tends to attract a little bit older, less technological savvy target demographic. And we've found that that can be successful. Or maybe you're targeting a very younger demographic. So maybe TikTok now has ads. Mm-hmm. So be willing to not just default to the old standbys of Facebook and Google, but really try to match your target demographic of where they are and what they're doing.
How has that shifted with the privacy changes over the past few months? Have you seen that be even more important?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Used to be that you could follow a consumer around, so it wasn't so important that you like dialed in. You could say, well, we can retarget them on Facebook and Google and other places all at the same time. Well, those days are quickly coming to an end to where you can choose your walled in environments where there's a large pool of people. Like maybe you just want to run Amazon ads. Mm-hmm. Maybe you just want to run YouTube ads. So they have their own ecosystem and large, but to just go wide to the whole internet, you have to be very specific now.
Okay, great. And what's the third?
Third one is only focusing on what we call the bottom of the funnel. And what I mean by that is if you think of the top of the funnel is where people come in and ultimately at the bottom where you get the lead, the sale, the conversion, it's really tempting to focus on the bottom of the funnel right away. Meaning, let's run an ad to our target demographic and send them to our product page to buy our product. And study after study shows that consumers are getting more and more savvy. They're researching, they're wanting to learn. And so many times, most times, it's more successful to run a series of ads that take the person down here's our brand awareness, we can solve your problem, let us educate you here, and that's maybe retarget them a little more so they feel comfortable with a sense of familiarity of who you are, and then ultimately guide them to a conversion. So actually have a process rather than just trying to go directly to the conversion.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, really great.
Yeah.
We hope that you guys find this useful. We hope that as you're starting to target more online, as you're getting into digital ads, or maybe you've been doing it for a long time and this just is a little different take on the way you currently approach it. We hope it's useful, and thanks so much for joining us.